Hello children, welcome to another class of computer lesson. So today we are going to learn a new chapter. The name of this chapter is Q Basic Programs with Conditions and Loop. So what is our new chapter name? Q Basic Programs with Conditions and Loop. So we have already, you have already learned what is Q Basic in your fifth chapter. So this is just the continuation of that programming language. So what is basic? Basic is a programming language. What is basic? Basic is a programming language. And let me ask you, what is the full form of basic? What is the full form of basic programming language? Yes, beginners all-purpose symbolic instruction code. Beginners all-purpose symbolic instruction code. Symbolic instruction code. Yes. B-A-S-I-C. That is basic. So let me ask you, what is a programming language? A programming language means simply an instruction. Simply the instruction. Instruction means to tell the computer what to perform or tell the computer what to do. That is a programming language, or simply we can say it is an instruction. So basic is the programming language. There are different types of programming language, and one of the programming language is basic. What is its full form? Beginners all-purpose symbolic instruction code. Code means instruction. So beginners all-purpose symbolic instruction code. And we know it's an instruction. So Q Basic is Microsoft version of popular basic programming language. So basic is a programming language. Here Q Basic. Q Basic means this programming language is the version. Whose version? Microsoft version of basic programming language. So this is Q Basic, and which is the Microsoft version. Microsoft version of Q Basic programming language. Right. Okay. So why we use programming language? To do our work very easily, to program the computers to perform the operations. For example, calculator. We can add the numbers. Simply is an example. Calculations. We can simply add huge numbers. We can multiply very large numbers. So to do our work very easy and accurately and rapidly, we need machines. So to program a machine means to train that machine to do our work very accurately and smoothly and perform very well. So that we need a programming language. So here we are learning about the basic programming language. And what is Q Basic? It is one of the Microsoft version of basic programming language. These are the introduction of this chapter. And these are the things you already learned in your previous class. So here there is an editor. Editor means the thing. Editor is the place where you can write the codes. Editor is the place where you can write the instructions. That is Q Basic Editor. What is the name? Q Basic Editor. Q Basic Editor. So editor means it's the place where you can write the code, or you can write the instruction. You can write the programming code. What is its name? Q Basic Editor. Alright. And Q Basic Editor is for Q Basic programming language. Then next here Q Basic is Microsoft version of popular basic programming language, and basic stands for beginner all-purpose remember some commands related to the QBasic editor. So do you know what are the commands used for entering some codes, some simple commands to work in a QBasic editor? So what are the commands to do work in a QBasic editor? So there is first one is QBasic has an editor to work. The editor gives you facilities and convenience with programs. So first code is how to save a file. Save a file. Save a file. How to save a file? Simply in the QBasic editor, we know there is a option named file. So just click on that. Then file, next save. File, save. File, save. So that is the way to save the editor file. So file, save. This is one of the command used in QBasic editor. The next one is open a saved file. So first one, save a file. Second one, open a saved file. Open a saved file. So what is the command? File, open. File, then open. File, open. And the third command is open a new file. So third one, create a new file or open a new file. Open new file. So that is file new. File new. Once again, how to save a file? File saver. How to open a saved file? File open. How to open a new file? File new. Then next is fourth command is print a file. So fourth one, print a file. So that is file print. File print. File print. Okay. Saving, opening, open new file, printing a file. Then next, copy the text. Copy the text. Copy the text. So what is the command used for copying a text? Edit, copy, then paste. Edit, copy, then edit, paste. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Then next, move the text. So here once again, save a file, file save. Open a saved file, file open. Open a new file, file new. How to print a file, file print. How to copy the text, edit, copy, edit, paste. Edit, copy, edit, paste. The next, sixth one, move the text. Sixth one is move the text. Move the text. That is edit, cut, then edit, paste. Edit, cut, edit, paste. Move means to move the particular text from one place to another. That is moving the text. So, what is the command used for moving text? Edit, cut, and edit, paste. Then next, run the program. So, seventh one, run program. Run program. program means the command is first run, start, run, then starter, starter. Then eighth command, exit from editor. Exit from editor. That is file exit. Exit from editor command. File edit. Exit. File exit. So once again, how to save a file? File saver. How to open a saved file? File open. Then how to open a new file? File open. Then how to print a file? File printed. How to move or copy a file? Copy, edit, paste. Moving the text, edit, cut, edit, paste. Then starting a run or execution, run, start. Then how to exit from a editor? That is just click file, then exit. So these are the basic commands used in QEditor. So QEditor means Q basic editor means quick basic beginners all purpose instruction code. Beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code, that is basic. And Q basic means Q represents very quick. Q represents quick. And the basic commands used for the programming language and basic is save, open, already saved file opening, exit, run, then copy, moving. These are the main important commands. Next portion or next section we are going to is variables and constants. What is the difference between a variable and a constant? So next topic, variables and constants. Yes, variables and constants. So here a variable means, for example, on a weight scale, as you keep on adding things, the weight keeps on increasing. So take a weight scale, and when we add the things on the weight scale, what happens? The weight becomes increased. So that means varying the weight of the things. Varying the weight. So if we give name X, first just assume the weight is 1.5. When we add anything into that weight, what happens? The variable scale indicates the weight 2. That means each of the time there is increases in the weight. Similarly, varying a thing is a variable. So what is variable? Variable means which keeps changing its value during the process. Which keeps changing the value during the process. So variable means changing its value. Changing its value during process. During process, that is variable. So what is variable? Variable means change the value of an item during the process, that is variable. Then constant means just opposite of the variable. Fixed is fixed. So constant means it is fixed. So this is for variable, and constant means fixed. Constant means fixed. Fixed. Constant is fixed. So here, if after putting 3 apples on the scale, the value of X becomes 3 and the value 3 is itself fixed. So here in our computer programming language, a variable indicates a memory location. A variable indicates a memory location. So simply a variable is a memory location. So it varies during the process. So what is variable? Variable in this, variable in computer, it indicates a memory location and also varies during the execution or during the process. So what a variable indicates? It is a memory location, and what is its use? It holds the value or it holds the data. It holds the data. So whose contents keep changing during the process or the execution of a program, but it holds values and the value changes during the execution of a program. So here what are the things about variables? First, variable is a memory location. First variable is a memory location and memory location. Then second point, which holds data, that data or the value keeps changing during the execution of a program. During execution of a program. During the execution. So that is the two important things in variable: memory location and its changes during the execution. The next, variable has a name and a data type. How to declare a variable? It needs a data type and also needs a name. So what are the things needed to declare a variable? First one, it needs a name. Name means which indicate the name of the variable or the name of the memory location. So what is variable? Variable has a memory location. So the variable is a memory location. It needs two things. First one, name. Second one is data type. What is that? Data type. So name means it indicates the name for the memory location. It indicates the name for the memory location. And second one is data type, which indicates the type of the data, whether it is an integer or a fractional number or a string, float or anything. So here in the basic there are three types: string data type, single data type and integer data type. So here it has a name which indicates the name for the variable, and the second one is data type of the data, example string or integer or a single. Then the variable memory location holds the data, so it keeps changing during the execution of a program. So here there are some rules for declaring variables. So first letter should be alphabetic letter. So what are the rules? First one, first letter should be alphabetic, and second rule is it should be the characters less than 1023. So should be alphabetic. First letter should be alphabetic. Then second, less than 1023 characters. And third rule is does not contain any spaces or periods. Does not contain any spaces or periods. Periods means in our computer period indicates some dot. So does not contain spaces like white spaces. The word between spaces does not contain any spaces or dots or periods. These are the main three rules for declaring a variable. Sorry for I identifying a variable. First, what is variable? Then what are the two things? Then next, how to declare a variable and what are the rules. Next is, we know there are two types of variable. What are they? Numeric variable and string variable. What are the two types of variable? Numeric variable and string variable. Numeric means which is related to numbers, and string means which contain alphabetic characters, simple, special symbols, etc. So first one is numeric variable. So there are two types of variable. Two types. First one numeric. Second one numeric variable, and second one is string variable. String. So numeric variable means which is related to numbers. For example, x is equal to 89. That means here assigning a value to a variable. Here the constant value 89 which is assigned to a variable named x. This type of declaration is included in numeric variable. That means the variable holds a numeric value, so that we can call it as numeric variable. And second type is string variable. String variable example, n is equal to, or in letter a is equal to x, y, z. But remember, you need to enter a double quotes at the beginning and ending. So that means a string, we can indicate a string, we can represent a string within the quotes. We can represent a string within the double quotes. So that here this type of assignment or declaration known as string variable. So there are two types. Numeric variable, that is a numeric value assigned to a variable, that is that type of variable declaration known as numeric variable. And second type is assigning a string to a variable, and remember you need to write double quotes within the characters. Then that type of declaration known as, or variable known as string variable. Then next is constants. What about constants? Constant means a constant is a value which remains fixed during the execution of a program. That means it does not keep changing during the execution of a program. It always remains fixed. It always remains fixed during the program execution. Similarly, same as that of variable, there are two types of constant here, that is numeric constants and string constants. How many type of constants? Two type of constants. What are they? Numeric constant and string constant. Numeric constant means which related to numeric values. For example, the values like 35, 75, etc. Then string constant means India or Zabi or hello. That means these are the strings or numbers within the double quotes, and we cannot change this until the program ends. So that type of constant is known as string constant. So here once again, what is the difference between a variable and a constant? A variable is a memory location whose contents keeps changing during the execution of a process. First we discussed what is variable, and then second, what are the different types of variable. Different types of variable means there are two types, numeric variable and string variable. The numeric variable means the numeric variable which is related to numbers. So that x equal to 18, the simple example of a numeric variable. Alright, okay. Then second type of variable is string variable. The variable must be included within the codes. That type of variable is known as string variable. Then how to declare a variable? Using, it has a name, it should be a name and a data type. We know in basic there are three types of data type. String data type which consists of different symbols, etc. Second one is there are some rules for declaring variables. First letter should be alphabetic characters. Second, it should be less than 1023 characters. Then third one is does not contain any dot or spaces. Then constant means constant is a value which remains fixed during the execution of a program. There are two types of constants, string constant and numeric constant. Numeric constant means there are numeric values on which calculations can be done and it should be fixed. Then second one is string constant. We know the string must be included within the codes. For example, India, hello, your name, etc. Then next is there are some Q basic statements. So let's move to next topic. Q basic statements. Next is Q basic statements. Yes. Okay. So first one is CLS. CLS means after writing the code, we need to erase the statements for adding the new instruction. So we need to clear the screen. So we need to clear the screen. So CLS indicates clear screen. CLS indicates clear screen. Clear screen. So first command used in Q basic is CLS. CLS indicates what? Clear the screen. CLS, clear screen. Second one is LET. LET means if you want to assign a variable, if you want to assign a constant to a variable, then you can have a command that is LET. LET means assigning a value to a variable. Assigning a value to a variable. A value to variable. Assigning a value to variable. Example, here LET variable equal to constant. LET variable equal to constant. So that is the second command. Okay, once again, CLS, which indicates clear screen, and the syntax is CLS. So what is the syntax of CLS? CLS. Then second LET. What is its syntax? LET. Then variable. Then equal to constant. So example, LET A equal to 85. LET A is equal to 85. That means 85 is a value which is assigned to a variable A, and we can have a command that is LET. Then next is REM. So the text after REM is taken as commands. Taken as commands. Next is REM. So during writing codes, so when we write REM, so the text after REM which takes as command. So REM which means refer is that? Remarks. Remarks. So the text after writing rem that indicates or that takes as command. So what is the syntax? Rem then remarks. Rem then remarks. Rem remarks. The next is end. Simply it ends the program. Fourth one, end. That is ends the program. Ends the program. Next is input. Input means input then variable. Input variable. So next is input variable. Okay. Alright. So these are the statements. So once again, first one CLS. CLS means clear screen. Second one LET. What is its syntax? LET. Then write variable name equal to constant name. Then what it indicates? It means that assigning a value to a variable. Third one REM. REM means remark, which shows that after writing remarks take as commands. After writing remarks or REM takes as commands. So what is the syntax of REM? REM then write the text or remarks. The next fourth one end. End means it indicates the end of the program. So end means it indicates the end of the program. The next is input. So if you want to enter an input for a value etc., you need to write a code that is input. That is the command. So the syntax of input is input then variable. Input variable. So once again, at first we discussed what is basic programming language. Basic is a programming language, and the programming language means simply it is the set of instructions, and it tells the computer what to do or what to perform. And here the Q basic means Q indicates Q. Basic means basic, all programs, symbolic instruction code. So Q basic is the simple programming language and which is used to solve programs or problems and draw graphics. It is used to draw graphics and solve problems. Then it is the version of Microsoft and then Microsoft version of basic programming language. Then next there are some commands which is used in editor. First one, save a file, that is file save. Open a saved file open. Open a new file new. Then print file print. Copy, edit, copy or paste. Moving, edit, cut or paste. Run, start. Exit from editor, file exit. Then next we discussed variables and constant. Variable means it has a memory location. So simply we can say that variable is a memory location and which keeps the content varying during the execution of a program. It has a name and a data type. Three types: single, integer and next single, integer and string. String contain characters, symbols etc. and integer contain whole numbers, and also single contain the whole numbers as well as the fractional numbers. Then there are two types of variables: numeric variables and string variables. Numeric means related to numbers, so numeric variables related to number. So for example, x is equal to 85. That is a constant or a fixed value which is assigned to a variable, which does not contain any characters or symbols. If it have characters or numbers, then we can call it a string variable. Example, a is equal to a, b, c, d or etc. And should be remembered that the letters should be written within the quotes. Then next one is one more thing, it can be a maximum of 40 character strings only. The next is constant. Constant means it remains fixed during the whole execution of a program. There are also two types of constant, numeric constants and string constant. Numeric constant means which is always fixed. The number is fixed. It does not change during the execution of a program. And next is string constant. And there it is. If it is fixed to a particular string, that means it does not keep changing. It always fixed during the run or during the execution. The next revision of few basic programs. So there are some commands. First one CLS. It indicates clear screen. That is syntax is CLS. Then second one LET. LET means if we want to add a variable, a value to a variable, assigning a variable to a value to a variable, then you can use the LET, and then syntax is LET, then write the variable name and equal to, you can write the value. Then next is REM. REM means the text after remarks which indicates or which considered as a comments, or we can say it remarks. So the syntax is REM, then remarks, then end of the program and input variable. So let's wind up this class. We will continue later. So have a nice day.